Okay, so super psyched to have Ellie with us today. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Hi, I'm so excited to have this little chat with you, and I know everyone else is gonna love it too. So super psyched.
Sure.
Yeah. How are you today?
I am doing well. I've got some good energy going around. I called in all my spiritual team and my cosmic collective. I've got my oils and my crystals, my artwork. So I can't complain. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, amazing. And we already had time to speak a little bit about your artwork before we allowed the viewers to hear us. But yeah, so tell us a little bit about you, Ellie, because I know you a bit now, but for anyone who doesn't know you at all, what should they know about you?
So my name is Ellie Alasantra, and I am based in the Greenville, South Carolina area in the United States.
Nice.
So I have been painting and doing art all of my life. And currently, in this phase of my spiritual awakening, I am considered to be an intuitive energy artist and a cosmic scribe. And I also host and facilitate intuitive art classes. So basically, I am here on this earth
Mm,
to bring creativity and spirituality to people, to help people connect with their souls so that they can see more of just this 3D world that we live in. There's so much more beyond what we see and what we feel in this, in our bodies, our physical bodies.
mm,
So I do that by downloading cosmic symbols and colors and patterns and markings, and I create my art layer by layer by layer. So
mm.
I'm on the healing side of art. So when people, it's like my art is therapy tools.
Mm.
So just by looking at it, absorbing in the colors, looking at the different designs, and they're around me in the background here.
Hmm.
You can actually help heal any childhood trauma you have, any anger, any stress, any anxiety, worries, tension, you name it. All what I call all those ickies that kind of stick to us like static cling,
Yeah.
just by working with the art, even if you're just tracing the design on it, as
Mm.
long as you are engaging with your eyes and absorbing the energies, absorbing the light and the colors that are in it, you will feel a difference.
Mm.
And so it kind of helps you kind of heal yourself from the inside out. So in a nutshell, yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. I have so many, thoughts coming when you're talking, but it's like, so it's that you have this ability to download these codes, right? That are kind of a way for the cosmos to give humanity tools to work with in order to bring them closer to themselves. But also, what you so beautifully described is you have this ability to also heal. Through just the act of creativity and to create art and look at your pieces, it actually becomes a healing. So it's an amazing gift to everyone.
Yes, I every day I thank the universe, I thank the multiverse is, and
Hmm.
I'm in such deep gratitude
Mm.
and thankfulness. You can tell because I get
Yes.
all teary-eyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a wonderful gift.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I understand
Yeah.
that. I can feel your heart warming now, so I completely understand. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
because and also I think the reason part of the reason why you're getting a little teary-eyed is because we know kind of what state, humanity is in maybe at this moment. For many people, it's a very it's a tough world that we live in, and we have a lot of maybe
Mhm.
trauma, childhood things, maybe illnesses. There's a lot for humankind to carry these days, and it's
Yes.
just so beautiful to be able to bring forth the things that you're bringing forth, so that people can start to grow further into themselves, but also heal through to becoming creative themselves, to making things themselves, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
that's, and because
Exactly.
that's what we're here to do, to create.
We are. And,
Mm,
a lot of people look at creativity differently. It
mm,
could be art, but it could be writing. It could be dance. It
yeah.
could be making crafts, anything, writing, even writing your name in the clouds in the sky, doing digital art, you name it. Everything is considered to be creative. So we
Right.
just have to kind of, because sometimes, we lose that side of ourselves because we get stuck in the corporate America. We've got, families and responsibilities and a job and you name it. Things are
Mm-hmm.
always hitting at us. And it's just kind of like, it's hard
Mm-hmm.
and it can be challenging
Mm.
to kind of, take a break and say, I'm gonna go and play with art. I'm gonna go dance. I'm gonna go swim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go lay in the grass and just look at the clouds pass by.
Yeah.
Because really we are human beings. We're not human doings.
Mm-hmm.
So doing creative things kind of helps us to just kind of get into ourselves and just kind of block out the external world for a moment and just kind of dream and imagine and just have fun, just play.
Yeah.
I don't go, when I paint, I don't call it work. I say, oh, goody, I get to go play with my paints
Yeah.
and I get paid. I get
Yeah.
paid for playing with my paints. So,
Yeah.
there's no better thing than that.
Right. It's pure joy, right? Yeah.
It really is, yes.
Mhm.
And I wish this for everyone to feel this immense joy and happiness that I feel. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
again,
Yeah,
again,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I completely understand. And also, what I'm like absorbing as you're talking is that it's also the ability to creatively express yourself at the same time as you're creatively exploring yourself. So it's kind of the fun imagination, um, not really looking at things like, oh, is this going to be pretty now, but more of just exploring, and it almost becomes meditative. So it's
hmm
you're searching both on the inside and on the outside. You're kind of doing both when
exactly.
you're creative. And I think also ultimately the act of creation in terms of, making, let's say, paintings or creating a dance or just making your own song when you're in the shower, whatever it is, it's like a gentle reminder for us that we're actually creating our own lives. And so it
hmm
starts to bring us back on that path of like, wait a minute, I'm actually supposed to make things happen and create things and shape the life that I want. So it's a good
Exactly.
reminder to allow us to slowly change tracks, essentially, into something that we truly want.
And that's just the magic of life because there's so much that we can do and so
Mhm.
much of what I hear, my downloads, because, from my angels and my guides, my spiritual team, as I call it, my
Yeah,
cosmic collective, is that we are missing out on so much more than the physical world.
right.
And so I think part of my art just kind of introduces people to that. Even when I
Hmm.
do the intuitive art classes,
Hmm.
I hope that people come and they're stressed and they're worried and they're sad
Hmm.
because as we go through the painting process, and it's very different than the usual paint and sip classes. It's more
Hmm.
of I do by inspiration over instruction. So I help people open up to their intuition. We do a little guided little visualization exercise, really quick, really simple.
Okay.
And so they realize what they want to paint. And as they're painting, I am channeling and talking to them and asking that all of their icky emotions that are within their physical body kind of float down their arms, down from their hands, and then go from the paintbrush onto the canvas. And the moment that paint hits the canvas, it
Mm.
turns it into something beautiful. So you're
Wow.
releasing and you're also creating a beautiful piece of art.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel that in
it's
my whole
enjoyable.
body now. What a beautiful way to explain it. It's like you're transforming it and giving it another life.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's excellent
Yeah.
put.
And
Thank
and
you.
and thank you. I'm just listening to you. And you're helping them in that process. So it's like they get, it's almost like they get more than they even knew that they were going to get in your class because you actually help them, with that transformation,
Mhm.
which is quite beautiful.
Mhm.
I love that. That's so amazing. So people, they come into your class and they're just like, and then they leave and they're like
Exactly. So
excited.
sometimes I take a before picture and an after picture,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I mean, I know they can feel a difference on some level. They feel some sense of relief and
Mm-hmm.
release
Mm-hmm.
because they've surrendered to their soul and their heart.
Wow.
And they pushed, like I said, pushed away their external ickies and just kind of let them go. And so they can feel the joy, they can feel the love. They may even feel a little bit of passion for creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it sparked something in them when they might have painted when they were little kids and just kind
Wow.
of dropped, or they used to dance or
Yes.
sing or write or anything. So it kind of opens up a whole level of new creativity that they can explore on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's so many different possibilities out there.
Yeah.
There's probably a gazillion different ways that you could enjoy life and see the brighter side.
Right.
Because I was That's something that my friends always tell me. They're like, if I'm always feeling down, I know that I can call you and you will always see the positive side of whatever they're
Mm-hmm.
going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that, yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That really is true. Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
amazing. And as something just came to me as you were talking, it's kind of like if anybody listening now wondering what the heck we're talking about, this sort of all these other things that are outside of what we're aware of, something that helps me remember is that, if the all the frequencies that are out there and the visual spectra that the human eye is actually able to see, if you look at all like the gamma and the slower waves and the faster waves that we're not able to actually perceive, like radio waves and microwaves and you name it, we actually are able to see with our human eyes 0.1% of the entire spectra of things that exist out there. This is just with our eyes, right? So
Hmm.
99.9% of everything that exists surrounding us, we're not able to see with our physical eyes. So to me, that's a great reminder to just for people to be like, oh wow, like we're very limited in our perception with our body through our eyes. There's so much more out there.
Yes, that
Hmm.
is so correct.
Yes.
And I mean, look at it, 0.1%. That's like
Hmm.
nothing.
It's
And yet we
nothing.
think it's everything. And
Yeah.
it's really not. It's really the opposite. So you're right. It's all in being open
Hmm.
to just being open to things beyond what we see and what we feel. It's like the unhidden worlds or
Yeah.
the hidden worlds. Yes.
Yes.
The the hidden worlds
Hmm.
versus what we can see and feel.
Yeah.
There's just so much more. There
It
really
is.
is. Even if you just, when's the last time you just kind of at night just went out and just looked at the stars or just looked up in the sky instead of looking down when we're walking? Why don't we
Hmm.
look straight ahead or even look up and see the vast world that is within us? Because this is just one little dot, just like 0.1%
Hmm.
of everything that we know beyond the planet Earth and even our solar system. There's just
Exactly.
so much more out
It's
there.
so much more. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our
Yeah.
body is a complete system that actually has the, DNA strands as little antennas in every single one of our cells. So we have trillions and trillions of cells that are constantly picking up information from
Mhm.
the metaverse, like you said, or the parallel universes, or the unified field, or however you want to label it, right? It's like there's just so
Mhm.
much going on, and our body is constantly receiving it. It's just a question of are we opening up to receiving it or not? And I think as you're explaining your creativity and the art and that process, both for you and for the people that are doing it with you, that opens up that possibility, right? Then
Mhm.
you're ready to
Yeah.
receive. So that's what's so beautiful. And I think just the act of creation versus like absorbing someone else's information, consuming someone else's, when you're actually creating something yourself, that's when you're turning all those things online, at least in my experience. Right.
Yes, it's totally true because even if I go back to the art classes,
Hmm.
the painting classes, I pick out themes. So some themes might be paint your angel, paint your mermaid,
No.
paint your butterfly. So you pick what you want to paint. You pick the colors. So you have total creative freedom to express yourself.
Wow.
And I can definitely teach anybody to paint
Mm-hmm.
whatever they want to paint, even if they come in from their phones and like, I want to paint this image. I'm like, okay, why don't you just kind of put that to the side? Let's do this visualization exercise. It's really short,
Yeah.
very simple, and then see if you come up with something different. And they're like, okay. And 9 times out of 10, they come up with something just that they just saw, like they
Mm-hmm.
saw a vision. They're like, wow, I didn't know I'd ever see this. And so it's such a great transformation
Mm-hmm.
that I love to just kind of see them creating. And like, I love to see the surprised looks on their faces. Like
Mm.
as they're painting, they're like, wow, because everything is really simple.
Yeah.
The techniques can be very simple. Doing angel wings, feathers is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And I allow the participants to be creative. So if they don't have to paint with a paintbrush. They can paint with a feather or their fingers
Mm-hmm.
or a branch or anything that they see fit. You're not bound by you have to paint with a brush.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's helpful. We have sponges. A lot of people just paint with sponges. And
Sure.
it brings them back to their childhood when they were full of joy
Yeah.
before life happened and
I
they
love
got older. And
yeah.
but yeah, it definitely brings them back and it brings back the good childhood playfulness. And then they carry that on with the rest of their lives. So
Mm.
they envelop a little bit of that creative flow, that creative energy, and they kind of realize that, oh, I don't have to be so rigid. I can go to the store, get my own canvas and paint, and I can paint myself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it just allows them that freedom
Right.
to know that, yeah, it's just because life is just so serious that sometimes you just have to take a break, let it all go, or at least for a little while, go have it play out in the parking lot or go play in the backyard while you just kind of get away from your thoughts and just you be with your soul and your heart and just create, just express yourself
Mm-hmm.
or whatever that means to you.
Mm.
But yeah,
Amazing.
it's a beautiful thing and
It
I'm
is.
very grateful.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the question comes into my mind as you're explaining this beautiful process. How did you how did you get started on this journey? Or can you look back in your life and kind of see when things shifted, or did you always feel like you were on this path, or how? I think you know what the question is,
Yes. Yes. Okay.
right?
So I have always been artistic. I've always been creative. So when I grew up, before I even started talking, and I didn't start talking until I was 4 years old, which, scared my parents to death.
Mm.
I always walked around with a sketch pad and a pencil, and I would just sit and I would just draw whatever I saw. So I learned to communicate through my pictures.
Mm.
And then I started painting, and I just kind of picked it up. Like I've always been, as my parents would call me, clever, when I think they meant creative.
Mm.
Um, so it was always like all the art classes I took. And I went to art college in Atlanta. And when I was in art college, that's kind of where the spiritual side, my spiritual awakening, I call it 1.0, started.
Yeah.
Um, and I've had some really crazy experiences, and I'm sure there's probably not enough time for me to even touch upon it, but some really weird things have happened to me that I could not ignore. So I
Mm.
knew that there was something beyond the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had even my friends were spiritual or back in the 80s. And I know I'm dating myself, but back in the 80s when I went to college,
Mm-hmm.
it was called New Age,
Yeah.
right? All the New Age and metaphysical. So I got involved in that, a little bit of that crowd. So I learned channeling. I knew that I was like not fully human. I am a star seed. So I'm off in the cosmos an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my art just started just kind of snowballing. So after I graduated art college, I was fortunate because all of my jobs that I had, my careers were always art related. I've been a graphic designer and medical illustrator. I've done t-shirt designs, clay, sculpture, you name it. I've probably touched upon it.
Mm.
And so when I got to 2.0, what happened to be in March of 2015,
Okay.
that's when my grandmother passed away.
Mm.
And there was some kind of switch that happened to me. It was almost like a 180, like
Mm.
everything was spiritual. I started seeing things. I
Wow.
started seeing like energy orbs. It's almost like the movie The Matrix. At the very end, I know we've talked about this, but this is for those watching.
Yeah.
At the very end, when Neo actually stops and he sees the Matrix, he
Mm.
sees the zeros and the ones going up and down in rows in vertical columns.
Mm.
That's kind of what I see, except I see cosmic symbols. I see markings, and I put those markings that I see and also from my meditations into my art. So as the year, and this has been since 2015, so we're going on, it's been 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So everything
Exactly.
has
Yeah.
been really developing. It's getting deeper and more integrated into my life. So now I do hear tones in my head, in my ears. It's not tinnitus. It's definitely cosmic or my angels kind of telling me things.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned I can tune those out rather.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you said before, my spiritual team, you can feel the energy. I mean, I live in a big house by myself because I'm not alone. I have a million little energy orbs kind of floating around at all times. So I never feel lonely, but I've learned to kind of talk to them a little bit and communicate with them. So when I'm feeling their energy too much, like if I'm trying to have a peaceful afternoon, if I want to read or write something or even create some art, and they're kind of popping in and out all the time, it's just, hey, Ellie. And I'm like, okay, time for you to go play. So I physically go to either my front door or my back door, and I open up the door and I invite them to go play outside so I can have a little bit of space.
Mm-hmm.
And they do. I mean, some of them always stick around, but most of the energy just kind of disappears for a little while. So I'm like, oh, I can breathe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the creative process is kind of, I call in my spiritual team. I call in my cosmic collective, and I ask for the symbols and the colors and the patterns and the markings and any energy that wants to come onto the canvas that I create, that I'm working on. It's not really canvas board, whatever it happens to be, walls.
Yeah.
And I kind of bring that energy down into something that is it's colorful. I have all bright colors. I usually don't use black.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the last time I've used black. It's either like really dark purple or really dark blue. And I really don't use brown either.
Mm-hmm.
So all the colors are bright colors. And I use see-through colors. I use a mixture of materials. There's a couple of pieces of art that I did a chakra art series. The root chakra has coconut fibers in it. It has volcanic sand from Hawaii mixed in with the paint to add texture because I love texture. I love it. And so there's bark underneath the roots of the tree. So there's just a variety. I use crystals. I use sacred geometry.
Mm-hmm.
So I use a variety of materials and whatever I'm called to use. I don't think about it. I kind of let my thoughts go out the door too. And I'm try to stay in the flow
Mm-hmm.
as much as I possibly can. And I'm in that zone. So I tell you, hours just pass. The next thing I know, like if I have an appointment, I have to set like a one of those manual timers, like the egg timers, the old
Yeah.
fashioned timers that go that make the sound, because otherwise my electronic devices tend to get scrambled. So, and I found that out in college.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, so when I graduated college was the first year they got computers, and everything
Hmm.
was the Amiga computer, a little small little thing in the United States. Of course, it could have been elsewhere, I'm not sure. But we had a little computer room in college, and every time I would be in that computer room, I didn't take the computer class. Every time my friends did. So I would be in the room with the friends, and you could watch people's monitors starting to go schizoid. Like they would just go blippy. They would change colors, they would just black out. And they realized it was me.
Hmm.
Because every time I came in, sure enough, they're like, oh no. And after a while, the computer professor literally said that I could not be in the room. I could not take a computer class because, and he goes, well, you know why? And I'm like, I know, but I couldn't really describe it. I knew, excuse me, I knew it was energy, but I didn't know what kind of energy. I'm just like, okay. I thought it was super cool. Like, look what I can do. So to this day, I have to watch, I have to ground myself and I have to upgrade all of my electronic devices with my car so that it matches my vibration. Otherwise, it kind of blips out.
Hmm.
So,
Can I tell
yeah,
you
that's,
something funny? Just before you and I were supposed to get on this call, my internet started acting up, freaking.
oh, wow.
It
Yeah.
never really does. And it was like blipping on and off. And I was like, what's going on? It's like your internet connection is on, your internet connection is off, doot like that. And I was like fiddling around here, and now it makes perfect sense. My internet was
Yeah. All
ready
the
for
way from,
you.
yeah, exactly. Travel all those miles,
Well,
thousands of
energy.
miles.
Energy is energy, so distance is irrelevant. Quantum physics have shown that a while back, so that's not the issue. But I just found that
Exactly.
funny as you're talking about the computers. I was like, okay, now I get it. That makes sense. But also,
Yeah.
what's really interesting is which has happened to us before. As soon as you mention your guides and your team, they're all like, ta-da!
Yeah. They're like, here we are. Here we are. We never leave. We're always here. Like, yeah, even in this big house,
Yeah,
that's all I see is like bright colors.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
glad,
Yeah, but they
you
say
see them,
hi.
you feel them.
Yeah, it's as soon as you mention them, it's like I almost, I almost started laughing because like, brrr, it's like
Yep. They're
they
like,
come around you.
here
Yeah.
we are. You called us in. Here we go.
What do you want? I
They're
think
like,
it's
hi.
amazing. Yeah. And also, I can fully relate to the tinnitus that you're talking about because I've had that since I was like 16, I think. And then I would
Hmm.
continue to hear it kind of change, tones and frequencies and so on. And I was
Yeah.
never bothered by it. I was just like, oh, I have tinnitus. And then it's like, oh, it's a thing. Oh, it's a thing. Okay. And then I was in this group with other people, and we were doing like, questioning sending questions to our spirit guides and so on and so forth. And the message I got was like, well, you need that sound because you're tuning yourself continually to Gaia. So you need to know what's going on. And so when it changed, because every once in a while it changes that tune,
Hmm.
and then I'm like,
Hmm.
I hear it, and right. So I think a lot of the tinnitus that people say that they have, this is actually, it could either be angels trying to communicate with you or tuning to Gaia or to the universe or whatever information it is that you're supposed to receive is being received, and it's kind of in your head more. If you pay attention, it's not in your ear, it's in your head, right? So it's like your
Hmm.
whole body is just allowing itself to tune to that sound essentially. So
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing because when I first
it
started
is.
hearing the tones, I was like, huh. And I would tilt my head. I would go into a
Mhm.
different room,
Mhm.
and I'm like, well, what if I did this? What
Yeah.
happens? And I started experimenting. I'm like, what happens if I go like this?
And
I
you
tried
know,
putting earplugs in. It didn't work. I still heard it.
and you know
But
what's
as you
funny
said, it's
too?
in your head.
Yeah, it allows you actually to hear other sounds clearer too. I don't know if you've noticed that. It's like I have the greatest hearing. It's like I hear this, but I also, as soon as there's another sound, I'm like, what's that? So it's like it's attuning you to everything around you
Hmm.
as well. So I think it's a brilliant tool and doesn't bother me at all. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool. And
Yeah.
sometimes you probably have them sometimes both, especially if you hear different tones and on each side of your head or in your
Yep.
ears, if
Yep.
that's resonates with you.
Hmm.
But sometimes they sound like they're in harmony, like a symphony, like
Yeah.
one's the bass and one's the melody or the harmony. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah.
Melody and harmony. Thank you.
Yeah.
But they're kind of flowing together. They're really in sync, and it's
Yeah.
just sometimes it's really beautiful. Sometimes they're like, especially if I've been around a lot of people and I need to detox myself from all the outside energy because I can't
Yeah.
feel overwhelmed. I'll
Yes.
hear a really high, like two contrasting tones, and I'm like, okay, okay, time to go rest, time to go
Mm.
play outside, time to go paint. So
Yes.
yeah,
Thank
those are
you.
just
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, thank you
yes.
for mentioning that because I absolutely agree that it's when I hear it being like kind of screechy, that's when I know I'm stressed and overwhelmed and I need to do something
Hmm.
different. Yeah. So
Exactly. Yeah.
you're absolutely right. So it's actually a tool for yourself too to understand whether you're in harmony or not, whether you need rest or whether you can be creative or, how you should sort of manage your life.
Mhm.
So I as you're saying that, it's kind of coming back to me as a remembrance that yes, that's what it's for. And I need to use it as that more often as well in my life. So. I want to come back to the codes that you were talking about because last time we
Yes.
spoke, you mentioned that you have these symbols. Maybe it's better to call them symbols. I don't know. That you
Sure.
that you receive, and you've been drawing them and painting them two-dimensional. But you've also received that they're actually three-dimensional, which is super exciting.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. That's okay. So when I first started meditating, excuse me, I see what I call my vision screen. When you close your eyes, I call that my vision screen. And when I start, like these little symbols kind of come in and they go. Sometimes they kind of connect. Sometimes it's they morph. The best thing that comes to mind is the Michael Jackson video, Black or White, I believe. It's the one that has the faces and like the eyes stay the same, but the
Oh,
faces and the people change
right.
in his video. So
Yes.
it's kind of like what I see. I'll see a symbol morph into another symbol into another symbol.
Hmm.
Of course, not that fast, although
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they go super fast.
Okay.
Sometimes they kind of stop and like they pause. I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to recognize this one.
Mm.
And then when I end my meditations, which when I first started meditating and again in like 2015, I
Mm.
would meditate for an hour and a half. So that's a long time. And I would come
It is.
out and I'm like so energized. I would grab my notebook and I would just start writing down everything that I remembered.
Mm.
That's kind of where some of my ideas or the guidance I receive come from for creating my art, especially arranging the different objects on the canvas of the board.
Mm.
So I realized it was really recent that these symbols, even though I draw them flat, like I have an Oracle card deck and those are all flat, but
Mm.
they're actually three-dimensional. So I've started my own version of clay sculpture.
Mm.
I'm taking one of my symbols. It could be anything. I don't have any nearby.
That's okay.
And I make them three-dimensional. So if it's a circle, so if you look at it overhead view,
Mm.
it'll look flat, but yet when you tilt it up, like the circle could just look like a regular circle. Wait, I got one. I got one. Could look like a circle.
Right.
And then when you tilt on the side of it, it could be coming up like a lotus.
Mm.
The petals may be coming up, but you wouldn't know that because you're looking at it overhead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's showing me that there's much more depth to what I have been seeing and feeling and sensing than
Mm.
I could ever imagine. So I'm like, oh, I get to
Wow.
do sculpture now. I'm
Wow.
not sure where it's going to go, but I'm excited to see. And I've only started dappling. Like I also have a 3D pen,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically it melts hot plastic and wax together at a very high temperature. So you can bait and you just hold it like a regular pen. And so you can actually twirl it. And as you move the tip of the pen, it's releasing the plastic. So you're literally drawing in air. You can make spirals and all kinds of stuff.
Mm.
So I'll make Instagram post or reel or
Mm-hmm.
YouTube short, and just kind of show the integrated parts of the sculpture that are kind of coming apart or
Sure.
coming apart to come together. That's
Right.
what they told me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Coming apart.
because you
Oh,
have to
cool.
separate things in order for them to come back together
Yeah,
in
sure.
harmony.
Yeah.
So,
And also going from that one or two dimension to three dimension, it to me it also seems like there's a lot more information in there then that can be revealed when it starts to become three dimensional.
mhm. Yes, because what I'm also learning is that when I write my little symbols,
Hmm.
there's actually symbols inside of symbols. So when I was creating my Oracle card deck, and it's 56 cards, each one has a unique symbol.
Hmm.
Excuse me again. And if when I first started meditating, I was like, okay, show me what's going to be in this Oracle card deck. Because I knew for a few years that I was going to be creating one, if not more. So in one of my meditations, I literally jumped into one of my symbols and I saw that they were just like space, just like I can't describe it. It's almost like a abstract sculpture that you're kind of walking through. There are
Hmm.
things that are coming around, there are things that are coming up and down, and you're like maneuvering around it. But at different angles, you can actually see. And then I started looking at the pieces that make these symbols up.
Hmm.
And there are codes, more symbols and markings written and inscribed and just on these pieces, these other codes. So it's like codes within codes and symbols within symbols that kind of make one big piece. And that's what they were showing me about the universe, the multiverses, and everything out there. It's multi-dimensional, it's multi-layered. It's
Hmm.
not, nothing is flat. Not
Right.
even the earth is flat,
Right.
but it brings the more energy to it. So it goes back to the 0.1%.
Yeah.
There's so much more that we don't know that slowly we are learning more about as we open up our minds, we open up our hearts, and we open up our arms to receive more information,
Hmm.
to be able to learn and process and see a different perspective, without being closed-minded, but having an open mind to say, anything's possible.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of opening up to that. But yeah, it's just amazing to see what's possible out there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just
I
every
love
day is
that.
an adventure.
Yeah, I love the idea of like the symbols being made up of other symbols. So like within each code or in each symbols, there's so many more messages within, once you like zoom in on one and you want to learn more about that one, oh, look, it's made up of all of this, right? And it's also shaped in a
Mhm.
particular way, which also has meaning. So that's just, as you were talking, it kind of, it reminded me of, I really love Richard Serra, the land artist. He does
Mhm.
these beautiful, large metallic sculptures that you can actually walk through. So as you were sort of showing with your hands, I was imagining, that it would be, it's probably not at all similar to his sculptures, but like that experience of walking through a sculpture where you're like getting compressed and then
Exactly.
released and then it goes
Mhm.
up and down and all of a sudden you're like in some darkness and then it's light again. It's just I just remember walking through some of his sculptures and just being like, wow, it opened up like a whole new perspective for me of how can I see things.
Mhm. Yeah, and also shows us how small we are. So
Yeah.
if you can imagine that you're walking through one of his sculptures,
Hmm.
and maybe it's supposed to represent a pinpoint,
Right.
something really, really small. And yet you are even smaller than that. And a pinpoint compared to the sky that we see is so much vast and large.
Right.
And it's just like, it kind of puts everything into perspective. Like, what do we know?
It
Not
really
much.
does.
0.1%
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
what's out there, if not more
Yeah, yeah,
or
that's just
less.
that's just a visual representation. Then forget about the rest, right? So
Exactly.
So the percentages get very, very small when we
Yeah,
start to realize
everything shrinks
everything
along with
shrinks.
what we thought we know, but we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
No, no, we don't. And the more that you learn about different things, as you're saying, when you start to open yourself up to receiving these codes, it's kind of like you're going deeper and deeper into them, and you're starting to realize that there's more and more to unpack in there. And I really, I feel. I remember last time we spoke, I feel really grateful that you are here and that you're able to give this to people because it's so beautiful to be a person who's kind of like straddling this and being able to translate to the world. This is how you can see things, and these are the codes that can help you. I think that's like a
mhm.
deeply, I don't know, very sacred, very
It
sacred.
is very sacred. Yes. And every day, like I said, I thank my lucky stars. I thank for my physical body, my emotional body, my mental body, and especially my spiritual body
Yeah.
to kind of be here
Mm-hmm.
on this earth in this lifetime, just seeing the beautiful world out there because I want to show the beauty that I see to the world.
Yeah.
There's so much more than what we see and feel that it's just I wish people could get into my head to kind of experience well, maybe not to the full degree, but
You already have
a
plenty
little
of people
bit.
around you.
Yeah, that might be a little freaky. And
Yeah.
whenever it started happening to me, I asked that my spiritual awakening happen with great ease and grace.
Mm-hmm.
So slowly things would happen.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't bombarded besides the tones, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of tones. And then at the same time was when I started seeing the orbs flying around. And I'm like, okay. I closed my eyes and they were still there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't disappear when I closed my eyes. I'm like, okay,
Same
this is
reality.
really strange. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just like, we're here.
Yeah.
Hi, let's play. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, I'm just so grateful.
yeah, and it's amazing that you mentioned that because even that process you can create, right? You can ask that it happens in a way where you're allowed to integrate it, where it doesn't have to happen in a way where you're completely overwhelmed and can't
Hmm.
manage and can't cope through that process. So that's I think that's great that you're mentioning that because it's sometimes helpful to remember that we truly are in the driver's seat when it comes to those pieces as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
So, and one thing that I've been told a lot from my spiritual team
mm,
is that they're waiting. All your spiritual team, all of the viewers that are watching this, we
yeah.
all have spiritual teams, and they're like waiting beside us. We have to tell them what to do. They
Yeah.
can't do it on their own. We have to guide them to say, okay,
Yeah.
please, whatever, I mean, whatever you want to manifest, whatever you want to bring into your life,
Hmm.
you just ask for guidance
Mm.
and they deliver. Of course, it may not be in the form that you want it to be or expect
Mhm.
it to be,
Yeah.
but it's usually most certainly for
Yeah.
your greatest and highest good, for yourself and for one and all, is what I always hear.
Yeah.
So when I create the art, when I have the art classes that I have, whatever energy tools tend to
Hmm.
pop out of my through my hands into 3D,
Hmm.
it's for our greatest and highest good, for one and for all.
Hmm.
So we truly are a collective. We are a spiritual cosmic collective,
Yeah.
made with all different energies, all different beings. I mean, there's just so much out there. It's just hard to even grasp our little brains around it because there is just so much
Yeah.
that just, yeah, it's like that little pinpoint,
Hmm.
pinhole,
Yeah.
pinhole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
amazing.
beautiful.
And thank you for that reminder because we forget so easily, right? It's like we forget to ask for help. We forget
Yeah.
to show what it is that we're interested in receiving and fully doing it. And in my experience, the times that I've had has asked for help, it never fails. And in even the most impossible things, it's just like, how's this going to work out? Okay, fine. We're just going to release this now and realize that it's going to work out. and then it beautifully does. It like unfolds
Hmm.
amazingly, right? So it's just that reminder of that you always have your team and you need to trust them and you need to ask them when you do need help. So I think that's great that you mentioned that.
Yeah, and because they cannot help us without us asking them. They're always with us. They
Mhm.
never leave our sides. And
Yeah.
they're ready. Like they're like, give us something to do. What can we do? What can we do? You're like, okay, why don't you clear my path so I can get to my appointment on time or a little bit early? Why don't you
Yeah.
find me the perfect parking place in a crowded shopping mall or where,
Yeah.
just even little simple things.
Yeah.
You can ask for rain, for wind, for anything. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, really anything,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it benefits you and everyone and everything around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember one time I was looking at my calendar from, let's say, mid-October to December, and I realized that there was no way I was going to be able to complete all the things that I had on my lap in terms of my work. And so I just simply sat down and I asked, I want to release some of this work so that it will be completed, but that I don't need to do it. And at the same time, I'm going to be able to finish everything that I need and it's going to be on time and so on. It's going to be perfect. And it happened. Before I knew
Yeah.
it, somebody called me
Mhm.
and were like, yeah, I'm doing this and this and that. I'm like, perfect. Amazing.
That's how it works. See,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's it.
And then I was just like, oh, thank you so much. Because there was just this level of stress of like fully knowing that I wouldn't be able to do it. I physically was not possible for one person to complete that work. So for me, it was just like, okay, this is absolutely beautiful. So that reminder to continually ask for big and small things is very,
Mhm.
very helpful. And in fact, I'm going to do it myself today. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And something else we can talk about maybe in a future
Yeah.
conversation is about portals.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can actually bring in a time portal so
Mm-hmm.
that you can find time to do everything you possibly want to find.
Mm.
There's time. I've experienced it. It freaked me out when it happened, but
Yeah.
it's definitely possible. I
Wonderful.
did 10 things in 2 minutes
Yeah.
with only 2 minutes and physical time passing.
Yeah. And I
So,
think I think what's interesting about that too is in my experience, time is changing anyway. So I'm sitting down and things might either go really fast, where I'm just like,
yeah.
whoa, how did that happen? Or it goes very slow. Like you said, you get to complete a lot of things in that maybe just 10 minutes have passed, and you're just like,
Hmm.
possible. So that and also over the months, I feel like it's
Hmm.
changing in a
Yes.
big way. So that time experience is definitely a little trippy right now.
Yes. I think it's actually kind of cool because that's how the time warp started for me. I
Yeah,
remember it, just as you described,
yeah,
time was either really slow or really fast.
yeah,
And I'm like, and then it just kind of integrated. So yeah,
yeah.
that's the start of it. Yeah, but yeah, it's happening for more people. Some
Mm-hmm.
people may not be aware of it,
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it has something to do with going up to the fifth dimensions, the different vibrational frequencies that are out there. They're trying to merge and trying to get us as humans or
yeah,
non-humans to
yeah,
kind of elevate our vibrations so that we can kind of meet in the middle. And in that place, there is no time, there is no space. You have everything that you could possibly want in abundance.
yeah. And the biology has to keep up also, right? That's my
Yes, that.
experience. It's like that's what's slowing it, not slowing it down, but that's like the system that's trying to catch up to the other systems, and
Yeah.
that's when I start to experience those different waves coming through of, yeah, as we mentioned, this time acting a little funky for me.
Yes, because there are different densities and different intensities
Mm-hmm.
of all of the different components that are
Mm.
involved to
Mm-hmm.
raise our vibration. It's just not a simple, clipping of snap your finger
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and it's done.
yeah,
It takes time with ease and grace to kind of
yeah,
integrate the energies because remember, our brains have to be accepting of it.
Yes.
the logical side in our brains has to understand what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where we can probably use our spiritual team to kind of help us integrate our brain, our minds. Sometimes I call it monkey mind because it goes
Yeah. Yeah.
into the process so that it all kind of flows together in one cohesive
Mm-hmm.
pattern. Smooth. I see like a smooth river, a
Mm-hmm.
flowing river.
Yeah.
Just kind of everything just kind of goes in
Mm-hmm.
unison, in harmony,
Yeah.
harmony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, I really like that. And it's helpful to do those things. I jumped in the ocean today and I just laid on my back for a moment and I was just like, I'm receiving all of the new codes that are coming in. I'm aligning with like, just receiving from the water, right? And it's just felt
Yeah.
beautiful to just
Aw.
soak it all in, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's so natural to do that with water or with nature or with everything around us to just like receive what's already there essentially and the new things that are
Exactly.
coming into. So I understand completely what
Mm-hmm.
it is that you're saying. It's like you had to coax your mind and your body into just relaxing, and surrendering into that flow.
Exactly. Surrendering, releasing, and letting go. That's the
Yeah.
whole, that's really the piece of it. And
Yeah.
then once you have not mastered it, but kind of accepted it and allowed it to come into your space to be in
Mhm.
your vortex of energy,
Yeah.
your space, your aura,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
then it just things just kind of happen a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, a little bit more gracefully, where it's like a very smooth transition.
Yeah.
You go through the transformation at a very comfortable pace for you, your heart and your soul, and also your brain.
Mm.
So it's all kind of a smooth process, like you floating in the ocean. You're
Mm-hmm.
just going with the flow. You're just kind of being, you're just being,
You're
because
just
we are human beings.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you probably just need to be some more and not
Yeah.
do.
The first time I heard that, I was like, wow, that's easy to say, because
But
again, we have all these things that are going on in our world, but as you continually start to accept that, to continually start to kind of back off from the doing and accept the surrendering, you start to see that it's true and it's not true. It's true if you believe in it, but it's also not true if you don't believe in it anymore.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it. It's like you become more and more of a human being as much as you or your realization of the fact that it's true. And then life
Hmm.
starts to transform around you because it actually starts to morph according to your beliefs and your reality, what you believe is true. And that's something it's hard to wrap your mind around if you're in a very early stages or if you haven't kind of, you know, how should I say it's seen that opening at all, right? If you haven't like
Yeah.
allowed yourself to approach that opening, those
Hmm.
statements sound a little silly, but as soon as you start to move in, you start to see that is actually the truth. Yeah. At least that was my
That's very true.
yeah.
Yes, because I remember when I was first waking up spiritually, I started coming in this was phase two, so
Mm,
2015.
yeah.
What I learned the most, which I'll give advice to anyone who's going through this,
Yeah.
is to pay attention to the signs and the synchronicities.
Yes.
So if you're driving and the car in front of you has a license plate that's 777, or it's got some letters or some numbers on it, and then you turn around and you open up a book to 777, or
Hmm.
any sequence of numbers, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be three. It can be
Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
5, whatever. But I learned by being in tune with like excuse me again,
It's okay.
the numbers that are coming to me. And then I might hear in conversation certain words that kind of stuck out to me. I
Hmm.
just noticed the patterns. I noticed the signs. And I noticed the way things just kind of synced. Like if I thought about something, just I don't know, I wish it would rain. and I didn't really think about it. And the next day or next moment I know, and the rain was falling and the wind was blowing, and I'm like, okay. Or if you just, oh, driving.
Hmm.
When I was driving and I would hear the radio towards the middle to the end of a song, I just kind of knew what next song was going to be playing. And sure enough, 9 times out of 10,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, I knew that. And that just kind of like, I did it once, I did it twice. I keep doing this. Or at an elevator. When you're in an elevator hall and there's 6 elevators, and you just happen to stand by the one that you sense is going to be opening up its doors first,
Yeah.
and voila, it opens, it
Yeah.
opens up the one that you chose.
Right.
So it's those kinds of synchronicities that I just call signs. And that helped me start paying attention to them. So they're very subtle. They can be super, super subtle. You may not even realize it until you're like, well, if the same thing happens again, the deja vu, it's definitely a call for like, hey, knock, knock,
Hmm.
maybe need to pay attention to this. And
Hmm.
you can kind of slowly build up.
Yeah.
And then more things just kind of happen and everything falls into place again with ease and grace.
Yes.
And you kind of start walking that path. And it was it was super exciting. And could also be a little strange because it's like something you've never experienced before.
Yeah.
And so it was just a beautiful time. And walking around like a kid, like in a candy store. I'm like, wow, look at all this stuff that's happening. I'm like, look at all these things I see. I hear things. How do I know this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Opening up,
Yeah.
awakening beyond the physical world is just, it's an amazing process. And it continues to be an amazing process, no matter how many years go by, how
Yeah.
much time or space goes by.
Exactly, because it's continual. It never stops. But I
Yes.
think that's a lovely, lovely reminder to follow the signs essentially, right? And to
Hmm.
trust that you are, because the more that you're paying attention, then the more that you're actually allowing yourself to follow those signs, then it's almost as if the universe, your guides are like, oh, she's paying attention. So now we can send more stuff and now we can send more subtle things, and she's still paying attention. And and then you start to open up more and more channels almost to receiving. It might start with the numbers, but like you said, then it's the songs, or then it's being in the right place at the right time, or then it's, running into a friend that you haven't seen in a long time. And all of a sudden, it's like, it's those types of things. And when you really start to give them value, that's when they start to happen more and more and more. Because
Exactly.
they're
Yes.
waiting for you to receive, right? They're just sending stuff and they're just like waiting
Yeah.
for you to be like, oh, look at that.
Hmm. Yeah. They're just hanging out, going, okay, is she ready? Is he
Yeah,
ready?
yeah,
Now? Now?
yeah.
Oh, goody, yay. And then they show up, all happy.
That's amazing. Exciting as children. Really,
Yes.
that bringing back that childlike inspiration, imagination, joy, that's really the key. I would say.
Hmm.
Like that excitement about life that so many of us have forgotten because we know we're busy doing other things except for being happy and joyful and excited. So that's the
Exactly.
important part. Bringing back your inner child and also follow the signs. Right?
Exactly. You said it.
No, no,
Perfectly well said.
you said
I hear
it.
I hear clapping. So yes, very well. Lots of clapping.
Yeah, right. I'm just summarizing your beautiful conversation. But thank you. Yeah.
Of course.
All right.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So how do you feel? Is there anything that you want to leave as a message, maybe a final message for people from you, from your guides, from, anything that you tune into right now that you feel like right in this moment of our Earth history is important to let
Mm.
people know?
Yes. So I'm guided to share with you that even though there is a lot of chaos, a lot of turmoil, a lot of uncertainties in the world, just know that this is part of the process, that it's just, they're just like waves, just like a roller coaster. You go up and you go down. It's part of the awakening process. It's part of the earthly changes that are going on. It's also what is called the new earth is here, a new way of thinking, of doing things, of being, which is also helping to open up to the higher levels of vibrational frequencies that exist here in this world and also the outer worlds. It's a chance for us to maybe get back to center. Maybe there are relationships that need some tweaking, not twerking, some tweaking. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we are in a number 9 year. So you add 20, 25, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. 9 is a year of endings. So if you haven't seen an ending of any kind, it could be a relationship, could be a job, it could be a situation, anything. This is the year for us to kind of close off the loose ends, to get closure on certain things, and just allow, like, don't push something. If something falls away, sometimes you're not meant to chase after it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're meant to let it go so new opportunities and new beginnings can arrive
Mm-hmm.
within your sight, within your grasp, so that you can be with that energy. So everything happens for a reason. And sometimes we don't know the reason until much time has passed. You just have to kind of know. And knowing goes way beyond trusting. It goes beyond believing and having faith. You just know in your heart and your soul that things are working out the best for you, that things will get better. This is the turmoil, the chaos that's going on. It's in the world and in our countries is just temporary. Things are happening. Of course, not as fast as we would like them to be, but things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just kind of keep that chin up and try your best to see the positive side of anything that you deem as a hardship or a challenge. Just kind of, they're telling me, turn that frown upside down. So kind of try to see the best positive outcome and not the worst, because that your thoughts become things. So as you think about the things that are uplifting and positive and really warm your heart, you will surround yourself with more positive, uplifting, and heartwarming people and places and situations and relationships. So just do your best and just kind of allow that little switch to kind of turn on. And so you can be happy and be at peace and be calm, filled with infinite blessings and infinite abundance. And say namaste.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was very beautiful. And I'm gonna have to listen to that again because it was
Me
hitting
too.
me so, in waves that I was like, I'm not hearing everything because it's just so amazing.
And that's what happens when I channel. So I'll have to listen to it too, because I'm like,
Yeah,
really, what did I say? I kind of feel what I kind of said, but not the exact words for
yeah.
my brain to
Right.
accept.
Yeah. No, it's an absolutely beautiful message. And I absolutely appreciate you delivering that to us today through your channel from your guides
Of
and
course.
so on. It's just really amazing. And thank you so much for coming on, Ellie. And I'm sure we'll talk again because I think there's an amazing connection here. And I really love your energy and just
Thank you.
your entire like being is just so beautiful. So I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Marie. I appreciate you and I
Mm.
adore you. You have such beautiful energy. I can see all the little orbs bouncing around over
Mhm.
by your door and over
Mhm.
by your painting on the wall. And there's some hanging by the something by the light switch. I don't
Okay.
know. It's pretty. I'm not sure what it is. It's not energy, it's something else, but there's a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
different, just beautiful light around you. So you are surrounded by light. So thank you for sharing your light and inviting me. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you very much.
Oh, thank you. Namaste. And have a beautiful day. And we'll say bye to everyone that's listening and have a
Yes.
great
Thank
day.
you for joining us.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, bye-bye.
Bye.